Khamenei is dead. 3 American soldiers are dead. And Iranian missiles are falling on Israel right now. This is not another Middle East skirmish. The rules that kept this region from burning for 45 years have evaporated. In the next 30 minutes you will understand exactly how we got here, what happens next, and why this war is already touching your life whether you know it or not. The supreme leader of Iran is dead. Let that sink in. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei ruled Iran for 36 years. He was the successor to Khomeini, the architect of the Islamic Revolution. And now he is gone, killed in a joint American and Israeli military operation. This is not an assassination of a general or a scientist in the dead of night. This is the decapitation of a regime. The strike came after weeks of escalating tensions. Israel had been conducting operations against Iranian nuclear facilities and military bases. Iran responded with missile barrages. But this operation was different. This was deliberate, public, and designed to send a message. The United States and Israel together decided that the supreme leader himself was a legitimate target. Within hours, Iran's missiles were in the air. Not the slow drones that gave everyone hours of warning back in April. Ballistic missiles. Fast. Accurate. Deadly. Tel Aviv was hit. Beit Shemesh was hit. The Iron Dome was overwhelmed in places. And for the first time in this conflict, Israeli civilians died in large numbers from Iranian weapons fired directly from Iranian soil. Then the news came about the Americans. 3 United States service members killed. The Pentagon has not released full details yet, but the reports suggest they were operating radar and defense systems when a missile or drone strike hit their position. This is what changes everything. American blood has been spilled by Iranian weapons. The question is no longer whether the United States will respond. The question is how far the response will go. Iran is now in uncharted territory. Khamenei was not just a leader. He was the system. The supreme leader controlled the Revolutionary Guard, the judiciary, the state media, the nuclear program. He was the final arbiter of every major decision. And now there is a vacuum. The Iranian constitution says a council will select a new supreme leader. But Khamenei's son Mojtaba is widely seen as the favorite. He is a hardliner even by Iranian standards. He has deep ties to the Revolutionary Guard and the security apparatus. If he takes power, the regime will likely double down on confrontation rather than seek a way out. But here is what nobody is talking about. The Iranian regime is weaker than it looks. The economy is crippled by sanctions. The population is restive. In 2022 and 2023, the country saw the largest protests since the revolution. Women burning headscarves. Chants against the supreme leader himself. The regime survived by shooting protesters in the streets. But the anger did not go away. It went underground. Now with Khamenei dead and the country at war, those fault lines are cracking open again. The regime must fight on 2 fronts. Externally against Israel and America. Internally against its own people who may see this moment as their last chance for change. Israel is also in a precarious position. The country has been at war since October 7, 2023. Gaza is still burning. Hostages are still in tunnels. Hezbollah has been firing rockets from Lebanon for 15 months. The economy is strained. The military is exhausted. And now Iran is striking the homeland directly. Prime Minister Netanyahu has spent his career warning about Iran. He has given speeches at the United Nations with cartoon bombs. He has ordered covert attacks on Iranian facilities. He pushed for the Abraham Accords to isolate Tehran. And now he has what he always wanted: a direct confrontation with the Islamic Republic. But wanting something and being ready for it are different things. Israel's air defenses are the best in the world. But they are not infinite. Each missile interceptor costs tens of thousands of dollars. Each ballistic missile Iran fires costs a fraction of that. The math is brutal. And if Iran fires enough missiles, some will get through. The Israeli response so far has been measured by their standards. They have hit military targets. They have not struck population centers. They have not used nuclear weapons despite having them. But Netanyahu is under pressure from his right flank to escalate, to punish Iran, to show that Jewish blood is not cheap. And then there is the United States. President Biden spent 3 years trying to avoid exactly this scenario. He withdrew from Afghanistan to end forever wars. He refused to put troops on the ground in Ukraine. He looked the other way as Israel pounded Gaza because he did not want America dragged into another Middle East conflict. Now he has 3 dead soldiers and a regional war on his hands. The political pressure is immense. Republicans are demanding retaliation. The Israeli government is demanding support. The Gulf Arab states are privately panicking and publicly silent. And the American public is watching gas prices tick upward and wondering if the draft is coming back. Biden has ordered carrier strike groups to the region. B-52 bombers are in the air. Submarines with cruise missiles are in the Persian Gulf. The machinery of American military power is grinding into motion. The question is whether it can be stopped. Here is what most people do not understand about this conflict. It is not really about Iran and Israel. Those 2 countries have been enemies since 1979. They have fought proxy wars across Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, and Gaza. They have never made peace, but they have never had total war either. The real danger is that this war sucks in bigger powers. Russia has ties to Iran. China buys Iranian oil. The European powers need Middle East stability for their energy supplies. And the United States has promised to defend Israel even if it means fighting Iran directly. This is how world wars start. Not with a plan. With a miscalculation. With an alliance that drags in another alliance. With a leader who thinks they can control the fire they have lit. Some historians compare this moment to July 1914. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand in Sarajevo set off a chain reaction that nobody wanted and nobody could stop. Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia. Russia mobilized to defend Serbia. Germany backed Austria-Hungary. France backed Russia. England backed France. Within weeks, the most powerful nations on earth were slaughtering each other in trenches. Could that happen here? Iran strikes Israel. Israel strikes Iran. America strikes Iran to defend Israel. Russia supplies Iran with weapons and intelligence. China sees American forces tied down and moves on Taiwan. Pakistan and India go on nuclear alert. North Korea fires missiles to test American resolve. It sounds like a fever dream. But so did August 1914 to the people living in July. Let us talk about what this means for you. Even if you live thousands of miles from the Middle East, this war is already reaching into your life. Oil prices have jumped 15% since the strikes began. If Iranian oil exports are blockaded or Saudi facilities are hit, that number could double. Gas at $6 a gallon. Heating bills that force families to choose between food and warmth. Inflation that destroys savings. The global economy is fragile. Supply chains are still recovering from the pandemic and the Ukraine war. A regional war in the Middle East could push the world into recession. Markets hate uncertainty. And there has never been more uncertainty than right now. Then there is the human cost. Iran has 87 million people. Israel has 9 million. In a total war with modern weapons, civilian casualties could reach the millions. Refugee flows would dwarf the Syrian crisis. Europe would face another migration emergency. Borders would close. Xenophobia would rise. And the nuclear question hangs over everything. Israel has an estimated 90 nuclear warheads. Iran does not have a weapon yet, but it has the material and the knowledge to build one quickly. If the regime feels existentially threatened, it may rush to test a device. If Israel fears that is happening, it may strike first with nuclear weapons. This is not theoretical. Israeli military planners have gamed out scenarios where they use tactical nuclear weapons to destroy Iranian underground facilities. Iranian planners have threatened to turn Israeli cities into glass. The language of genocide is already in the air. So what happens next? I will give you 3 scenarios. First, the limited war scenario. America and Israel conduct more strikes on Iranian military and nuclear facilities. Iran responds with missile barrages that cause damage but not catastrophe. After a few weeks, both sides accept a ceasefire brokered by European powers. The regime in Tehran survives but is weakened. Netanyahu claims victory. Biden avoids ground troops. The world moves on. This is the optimistic scenario. It assumes rational actors making rational choices. It assumes nobody makes a mistake. It assumes the Iranian succession goes smoothly and the new leadership wants to survive more than they want revenge. History suggests we should not count on this. Second, the regional war scenario. Israel invades Lebanon to destroy Hezbollah. Iran activates militias in Iraq, Syria, and Yemen to attack American bases and Saudi oil facilities. The Strait of Hormuz is mined or blockaded. 20% of world oil shipments stop. American troops deployed to defend Saudi Arabia and Jordan. The war lasts months. Thousands die. The global economy tips into recession. This is the likely scenario if cooler heads do not prevail quickly. It does not go nuclear. It does not become World War III. But it devastates the region and causes economic pain worldwide that lasts for years. Third, the existential war scenario. Iran's new leadership decides that compromise is impossible and launches everything they have at Israel. Israel responds with nuclear weapons. America is drawn in completely. Russia and China choose sides. The conflict spreads beyond the Middle East. This is the nightmare scenario. It is unlikely but not impossible. Once nuclear weapons are used, the taboo is broken. Other nuclear powers may calculate that they too can use them without total destruction. This is how human civilization ends. Not with a bang, but with a series of bangs that escalate beyond control. I want to pause here and address something. There will be people watching this who think I am being alarmist. Who think this is just another Middle East conflict that will burn itself out. Who think the adults in the room will find a solution. I hope you are right. But I have studied these conflicts for 20 years. I have seen how wars start. I have seen how the logic of escalation takes over. I have seen how leaders convince themselves that one more strike, one more escalation, will bring victory or at least save face. The assassination of Khamenei was not an act of restraint. It was an act of war. The Iranian missiles falling on Israeli cities are not a proportional response. They are an escalation. The American deaths are not a tragedy to be mourned quietly. They are a casus belli. We are past the point where this can be solved with diplomacy alone. Too much blood has been spilled. Too many red lines crossed. The question now is whether the escalation can be contained or whether it feeds on itself until everything burns. Let me tell you what I think will actually happen. Not what I hope. What I think. The next 72 hours are critical. Iran will launch more missiles to prove it is still a functioning state despite losing its leader. Israel will strike back harder to prove that Iranian aggression has consequences. America will deploy more forces and likely conduct its own strikes on Iranian military targets. At some point, someone will offer a face-saving way out. Probably the Europeans. Probably through back channels. The terms will be humiliating for both sides. Iran will have to accept limits on its nuclear program and its regional militias. Israel will have to accept that it cannot destroy the Iranian regime. America will have to accept that its Middle East policy has failed again. But this will not happen quickly. First, there must be more violence. More death. More destruction. That is how these things work. The leaders need to show their people that they fought before they accept that they cannot win. For ordinary people in Iran, Israel, Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, and Yemen, this means more suffering. More nights hiding in bomb shelters. More children killed by explosions they do not understand. More futures destroyed by decisions made in bunkers by old men who will never face the consequences. For ordinary people in America and Europe, this means higher prices, economic anxiety, and the moral weight of watching another region burn while you debate whether to intervene or look away. There is no good outcome here. Only less bad ones. And the difference between less bad and catastrophic depends on decisions made in the next few days by people who have already shown they prioritize pride over peace. I will keep covering this as it develops. Subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Because the story is moving faster than the news cycle can handle. And you need to understand what is happening while it is happening, not after it is too late. This is the most dangerous moment in the Middle East since 1973. Maybe since 1967. Maybe since the region was created by the collapse of empires a century ago. Khamenei is dead. 3 Americans are dead. Missiles are in the air. And the 72-hour window is closing. I will see you in the next update. Stay safe. Stay informed. And do not look away.